Okay, major seventh arpeggios. How to use them, what to do with them. What are they? Cue the music. I just played major seventh arpeggios with resolutions moving up minor thirds. Really cool sound. But what I want to explain to you today is what a major seventh arpeggio is and what chords you can use them over to make your playing sound a little more hip. So we have a major seventh arpeggio. What is that? A major seventh arpeggio is taking the first, third, fifth, and seventh scale degrees from a major scale and stacking them, sounding like this. How can we make that sound a little more hip? Just using those four notes. Well, take that seventh, put it on the bottom, below the root, and start from there. I remember the one guy that showed me this a while back at Wayne State University in Detroit. His name was Larry Nazzaro. He's a Detroit legend, saxophone legend, great guy. And he showed me this, and it opened my ears up to so many different things. So check it out. If you do that, it sounds like this. Just by changing that one aspect of it, you can get completely different sound, and you can stop starting your lines from the root. Don't start from the root, man. There's one thing. So we know how to build a major arpeggio. What do we use it over? How do we use it? Well, I'm going to give you 3 basic chords now that you can use it over, and the first one is a major chord. Okay, that's pretty basic, pretty simple, self-explanatory, using a major arpeggio over a major chord, right? So let's hear what that sounds like. And now for this activity today, for this tutorial, whatever you want to call it, I'm going to be using F concert major arpeggio over all the chords we're going to be doing. Okay, so the first example is F concert. The first chord we're playing is F major 7th. Okay, here we go. That's the sound you're going to get over a major 7th chord. You're playing pretty much all the chord tones. You're playing the 1, 3, 5, 7 like we said, and then I resolved it to the 6 on one of them. I resolved it up to the 9th on another. So use your ears to hear these different chord tone qualities over each chord, and see what you come up with. See where you're like, wow, oh man, one of my favorite players does that over, you know, in this tune. I got to find out what chord he does that over. That's the sound I've been thinking about, that I'm hearing, but I couldn't quite put my ear on it. So this might be something that really opens up and expands your ears from when you're listening to some of your favorites, whether it's some of these guys or some of your heroes that you're listening to, and it might just open up a whole new door for you. So hopefully it does. The next example we're going to talk about is playing a major 7th arpeggio over a minor chord. So in this example, we're playing D minor, and we're going to still play that F major arpeggio over the D minor, but now we're getting the 3, 5, 7, and the 9 of the minor chord with using that major 7th arpeggio. Okay, so let's hear what that sounds like. That's another example. So I just was playing some of the same stuff I played on the major, but just exploring what that sounds like, messing around with starting different ways, naturally trying to put it into my playing so it doesn't just sound like a generic arpeggio. You want to rhythmically change this stuff up. You want to play what you're feeling, what you're hearing, and what you're trying to put out there. So I don't want to tell you what to do. I just want to show you things that you can do, okay? Because I think Miles Davis said this a long time ago, there are no wrong notes, right? Well, there aren't, and the way that you want to play it, just make sure that you're playing it with intention and you're playing it with conviction. So whatever you're hearing, you might be hearing different rhythms than I'm playing, you might be hearing different resolutions than I'm playing. Awesome. That is great. Make sure you're playing that stuff with conviction and you're following through with what you're hearing, not just thinking about notes and trying to fit them in. We really want to be using what we're hearing in our head and trying to put that out through our horns, on the guitar, on the piano, wherever, whatever you're playing. So the last one, and this one's a little different how to get to it, but the last one is over a dominant 7th chord. Now, you build a major 7th arpeggio off of the flat 7 of a dominant. So if we're using the example of G concert, G dominant, what is the flat 7 of G7? G dominant 7. If you said F, you are correct, right? So we're still using F. We're still using F-A-C-E. Okay, I did not realize we were using the FACE acronym this whole time, honestly. But that's yeah. So that's a good way to think of it, right? You remember learning that when you were a kid? Oh, F-A-C-E. That's the spaces on the staff, unless it's bass clef, and then it changes. So I'm pretty sure it changes. We're building off of the flat 7, okay, and which is, in this case, G concert, we're playing F-A-C-E. It gives us some extensions in the chord. So if we're building off the flat 7, we have the flat 7, which is F, the A is the 9 of G7, the C is the 11, the natural 11 of G7, and the E is the 13th. 13th is the furthest extension away from the root that you can get to when you stack all those notes up. So you get a really cool sound, and it's probably a sound that you hear a lot of modern players and just a lot of great jazz players. They're using these extensions, and they use them in such a flawless way that their melodies are so beautiful that you probably don't even realize they're using these extensions. But if you're hearing something a little bit more hip, a little new to your ear, it might be these extensions that, you know, the 7, 9, 11, 13, and you can get into other alterations of those upper extensions. Okay, so here's what that one sounds like. Okay, so it just loops. Okay, so I was just playing a little bit of dominant language there, but making sure that I was playing that major arpeggio exclusively so you could hear what I was doing. That is a wrap on major 7th arpeggios. Now there are more chords that you can play major 7th arpeggios. These are not the only 3. I just thought I'd start with these 3 as a appetizer, give you enough to work on. Now you can do a lot of stuff with these things. See what you come up with. Okay. So what I suggest doing with this is, if you're on YouTube, which you're on since you're watching this, go ahead and find a backing track with maybe major chords or minor chords or dominant chords, and work on playing these arpeggios over that so you can start hearing them in your ear. Now you want to get these under your fingers first, so you can play these in all types of ways. You can do it like in the beginning of the video when I played it in minor thirds. You can do it descending chromatically, ascending chromatically. You want to practice these in all types of ways, and practice resolving them. Don't just, you know, doing something like this, you know, just playing it chromatically up and chromatically down. Practice resolving. Use a metronome, get it on 2 and 4, start slow. There's a great, I don't know if you can see this, let me see if this will work. There you go, slow down to go further. So that is so true, slow down to go further. So slow, get these in under your fingers, get them in your ears more importantly, and things are just going to start to fly. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment and ask. If you like this video, please leave a thumbs up. I would appreciate it and be truly thankful for you to subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for your support, and until next time, keep practicing those major arpeggios. Stay positive, stay progressing. Take care.